Hi, Linda. We need to talk about what you did. I've been trying to be patient for years, but this crosses a line. And don't ignore me this time. This is very serious.
Just leave me alone.
No, not this time. I want an actual explanation.
Why should I talk to someone like you? I don't even want to look at you. Stop texting me.
I came home from my business trip and found all my clothes and personal items missing from my room. Everything, even my mother's necklace, the one she gave me on my wedding day.
Oh dear, maybe we had a break-in.
We both know that's not what really happened. The security system shows no alerts, and mysteriously, only my things are gone.
There's such accusations. How dare you blame me without proof?
I have checked the security footage. I've seen you going in and out of our room multiple times while I was away. You've been here the whole time, and our security system is top-notch. If someone had broken in, Mike and I would have gotten alerts on our phones. Since we didn't get any alerts, that means no one broke in.
What? You've been spying on me? Is that so? How dare you install something like that without my permission?
It wasn't without permission. Mike and I installed it last year after the break-in next door. You were there when we discussed it. It's completely normal to want to protect our home.
Our home? Stop saying that. Don't make me laugh.
Linda, what's going on here? You've never liked me. I get that. But throwing away all my belongings? That's crossing a line. You went way too far.
You want to talk about crossing lines? Living here for 10 years despite clearly not being wanted? That's crossing a line.
So you admit you threw away my things?
Do I really have to spell it out for someone as dense as you?
Yes. Please explain. I want to hear exactly why you did this.
Look, I want you out of this house. And I want you to divorce my son, too, while you're at it.
I can't believe you're finally saying this out loud, after 10 years of pretending I don't exist.
Oh, so you noticed. Yet you still stayed.
I know you don't like me. You never did. But this is beyond dislike. So you're trying to force me out of the house?
Obviously. What else did you expect? Did you think I'd welcome you with open arms forever?
Is this why you've been ignoring me all this time? Every greeting I attempted, every holiday meal I prepared, every gift I gave you?
They were all unwanted. Of course, I thought if I ignored you long enough, you'd eventually leave. I never expected you to be so shameless and stick around for 10 whole years. Who stays somewhere when they're being ignored for 10 years? The nerve of you.
So that's what this was about. I knew you were ignoring me on purpose, but I never thought you'd go this far.
What kind of person are you to stick around knowing that? Normal people would have left years ago.
I actually hoped we could get along eventually. Remember when we first met? You seemed so happy that Mike had finally found someone.
That was before I realized what you really were. A parasite.
That was before you lost your husband, wasn't it?
Don't you dare bring him up.
Everything changed after that. I tried to help you through your grief.
I never asked for your help. I never needed it.
That's not true. You were barely eating and barely leaving your room.
That was none of your business. That was between me and my son.
I understand that now. But why do you want me to divorce Mike? We love each other, and I won't agree to that. Neither will he.
Love? Don't make me laugh. Don't be ridiculous. You're nothing but a parasite leeching off my son. You don't know anything about love.
A parasite? What are you talking about? I have my own career. I work hard at my job and also take care of the house. I'm not dependent on Mike at all. I even cook your meals, though you never eat them.
That's nothing special. My son makes plenty of money. Enough to buy this beautiful house. I can handle the housework. I raised Mike just fine on my own. You're completely unnecessary in this home. Yet here you are, acting like you own the place.
Is that what this is about? You think I'm trying to replace you?
Aren't you? Coming in here, changing everything, moving my furniture, redecorating my son's childhood home.
This isn't Mike's childhood home. We bought this house together after we married. Even so, Mike and I love each other. You can't just decide we should get divorced.
My son doesn't really care about you. He's been letting me ignore you this whole time, hasn't he? Deep down, he wants you gone too. I'm doing this for my son's sake.
You really believe that? After all these years?
Of course I do. I know my son better than you ever could.
So that's why you threw away my things? To protect Mike from me?
I had to get rid of your space here. I threw everything out while you were on your trip. You can't come back now. This isn't your home anymore.
Including my mother's necklace? The photo albums from our wedding?
All of it. Every trace of you. Gone.
I can't believe this. After everything we've been through.
We haven't been through anything. You've just been an unwanted guest, overstaying your welcome.
I've tried so hard to be a good daughter-in-law.
I never wanted a daughter-in-law. Just get out of this house right now. And don't show your face here ever again. I never want to see you anymore.
You really want this to end this way?
End? This never even began. You were never part of this family.
I see. I need to talk to Mike about this.
Go ahead. He'll choose his mother. He always has.
Mike, you got a minute? I need to talk to you.
Yeah, what's up?
How was your business trip? Are you back now?
I just got back, actually. The flight was delayed, but I finally made it. Everything okay with you?
No, not really. All my stuff has been thrown away.
What? What do you mean? Like, some of your things?
Everything, Mike. All my clothes, my jewelry, the necklace my mom gave me, even our wedding photos.
Who would do something like that?
Your mother did it. She admitted to throwing everything out herself.
I see. So she finally went that far. I knew something bad was coming, the way she's been acting lately.
You noticed too?
The extra phone calls, asking when you'd be away next. I'm so sorry. I'm ashamed that my own mother would do something like this.
We've talked about this before. You don't need to feel bad about any of this. We shouldn't have moved in with her.
But you were the one who suggested it, after everything that happened with my dad.
I know. I really thought we could help her, like you helped my family.
We discussed that decision together. No one forced us. And honestly, you've been more patient than anyone could expect.
Yeah, so let's handle what comes next exactly like we planned.
You mean?
The mortgage payment cleared last week.
Perfect timing. You're right. Go ahead. Do you want me to come home now?
No, you should stay at the hotel tonight. I'll leave the house for now. I need to take care of some things anyway.
The realtor?
Already called her. She'll be here tomorrow.
Got it. I'm counting on you.
Mike,
Yeah?
are you sure about this? She's still your mother.
And you're my wife. The wife she's been trying to drive away for 10 years. The wife who still cooked her meals every day, even when she wouldn't eat them.
I just wanted us to be a family.
I know. That's why I love you.
Okay. I'm going to tell her I'm leaving.
Be careful. Text me when you're done.
I will. Linda, I'll be leaving for a while.
Finally! What do you mean, for a while? Don't you dare come back.
Before I go, I have one last question. Why did you hate me so much? We used to have such nice conversations before we lived together. The moment we moved in, you started ignoring me.
That's simple. I did it to protect my family. What do you mean?
That's an interesting way to put it. Protecting your family.
After I lost my husband, Mike became my only family. I became determined to make sure he would be happy no matter what.
That's admirable, but maybe misguided.
Once I realized that, I knew I had to get rid of you first.
Why? Mike seems happy with me. We've built a good life together.
That's just what you want to believe. You fooled yourself all these years. My son works hard, pays your living expenses, and even bought this house. Meanwhile, you won't even give him children and just freeload off him. Don't you feel sorry for him at all?
I can't control whether we have children or not. We've been trying. Trust me, I want to have Mike's baby too. I want that more than anything.
Anyone can say that. Where's the proof?
And about the living expenses, Mike and I split everything. Like I keep telling you, I have my own job. I make good money.
Enough. You're just making excuses. I see right through you. This house only needs Mike and me. You're just getting in the way of our family life. I'll find him a better wife myself. Someone who knows their place.
Is that what Mike wants? I don't think so. Have you ever asked him?
Of course it is. I carried him in my womb and gave birth to him. I understand my son better than anyone. Better than some woman who showed up a decade ago.
That's just your imagination. People like you are actually harmful to Mike. You're suffocating him.
Excuse me? How dare you say something like that to me, after everything I've sacrificed?
Clearly, you don't realize what you're doing. You're not protecting him. You're trying to control him.
You're not part of this family anymore, so get out, and don't try to interfere with our family anymore.
Are you absolutely sure about this? Are you sure you want me to leave this house? Think carefully.
Of course I am. This has been my wish for the past 10 years. Why are you even asking?
I see. Understood. Take care then.
So this is really goodbye then. Finally, you're gone. Wait, what's going on here? Why are there people measuring the house?
What is it? I thought we were done with each other.
Trust me, I didn't want to contact you either. But this is an emergency. There are strangers in my house.
Oh? What kind of strangers?
A real estate agent just showed up saying the house is being sold and I need to move out. They're taking photos of everything.
Ah, that. Yes, they need documentation for the listing.
So it was you. I knew Mike would never do something like this, so I asked the agent. They said you were the one who started the selling process. What do you think you're doing? How dare you try to sell our house? You have no right.
Our house? There seems to be a misunderstanding. This house isn't yours, Linda. It never was.
I know that. It's Mike's house. But I'm Mike's mother, so when I say our house, that's what I mean. Stop playing games.
That's where you're wrong. Very wrong.
What? What are you talking about?
This house is mine, not Mike's. I bought it. My name is on all the paperwork.
But Mike said he bought the house. He told me himself.
Well, he wasn't exactly wrong. Mike and I have always split our living expenses. When it came to buying the house, we decided to split that too. But since splitting the mortgage would have been complicated paperwork-wise, I agreed to pay the full amount. It was simpler that way.
You're lying. This is some kind of trick.
Check the property records if you don't believe me. In exchange, Mike would cover all our other living expenses. So in a way, Mike did help pay for it. But legally, since I made the mortgage payments, the house is in my name.
That can't be. You're making this up.
I have all the documentation. Would you like to see it?
But you knew I was trying to drive you out, and you still let me. All this time.
Yes, I knew exactly what you were doing.
Then why? Why stay here?
The thing is, for a while, I did try to fix our relationship. I made you breakfast every morning, bought you gifts for every holiday, tried to include you in our lives. But when you kept refusing to even acknowledge me, I gave up. Obviously, I got fed up with it.
Then you should have just left. Why put up with it?
Just leaving would have felt like losing. So, I waited for the right moment.
What moment?
When the mortgage was paid off. I made the final payment last week. Once the mortgage is fully paid, the lien on the house and property gets removed. That's when I could sell it.
Can't you sell a house even with a mortgage? I don't understand.
It's possible sometimes, but there are conditions. The main one being you need to pay off the full mortgage. If you can't pay it off with the sale proceeds, you can't sell. That's why I decided to focus on paying off the mortgage for these 10 years.
You could have moved out and just paid the mortgage. Why stay here and endure me?
You expect me to pay both a mortgage and rent somewhere else? I don't make that kind of money. I'm not made of money.
So you stayed with me this whole time just for this? Just to get revenge?
Yes. If you had shown any sign of changing or trying to get along, I wouldn't have done this. I gave you so many chances, but you never changed, so I went ahead with selling the house.
You think you can get away with this? You're making both me and Mike homeless. And you just said Mike helped you pay for this house. Is this how you repay his kindness?
Don't worry, I already discussed everything with Mike. We've been planning this for a while.
What? No!
Mike knows about this and won't be coming back to this house. We're already looking at new places together.
That's impossible. He wouldn't abandon his mother.
Why don't you ask him yourself? He should be online now.
You're right. Just wait. He'll put a stop to this. Mike, honey, someone's trying to sell our house. Sarah's gone crazy. She's claiming she owns the house.
Yeah, I know. Sarah and I decided this together. We've been planning it for months.
Mike, you can't be serious. So you're really siding with that woman against your own mother?
My wife. Her name is Sarah, and yes, I'm siding with her.
Why? After everything I've done for you? I thought she moved out and you were getting divorced.
Why would we divorce? What made you think that would happen?
Because I threw her things away. I made it impossible for her to stay.
And you thought that would make me choose you? We still trust each other completely. We have for 15 years. Don't try to force a divorce on us.
Is it true that Sarah was paying the mortgage? Tell me she's lying about that.
Yes, it is. Sarah's been working really hard at her job. It's been a huge help. She's actually made more than me these past few years.
Why didn't you tell me? Why let me believe you bought it?
It was Sarah's idea. Since we were splitting everything anyway, she suggested letting you think I was paying for it. Letting me be your perfect son, you know? Though I never really cared about that. I just went along with it to keep the peace.
So you're not coming back home? To your mother?
Of course not. I'm gonna live with Sarah, so you should start looking for a new place. The realtor said you have 60 days.
You two planned this whole thing to trick me. You even let me ignore Sarah all this time. Weren't you on my side?
Are you kidding me? Are you seriously asking me that?
What?
I tried to call you out on your behavior many times, but Sarah always stopped me, saying she'd handle it herself. If it wasn't for her, I would have yelled at you about this years ago. Would have moved out the first time you ignored her at dinner.
But you know what? Sarah was bullying me, too. Yes! She wanted me out of the house and kept harassing me. She was always watching me.
Actually, Sarah's the one who suggested living with you in the first place. Have you forgotten that?
What? No, that can't be right.
She felt bad that you were all alone after Dad died. She's the one who suggested we all live together. I was against it at first.
That can't be true. No daughter-in-law wants to live with her mother-in-law. She must have had ulterior motives.
That's what I thought too. But about 15 years ago, I used to help Sarah's dad with his care.
You did? I don't remember this.
Yeah, he was in poor health. They really should have put him in a facility, but they couldn't afford it, so Sarah's mom was taking care of him. I could see they needed a man's help sometimes, so I spent my days off helping with his care, lifting him, bathing him, everything.
I never knew.
After he passed away, both Sarah and her mom were really grateful. I think that's why she suggested living with you to return the favor. She wanted you to have a family around, like I did for her family.
Oh, I didn't realize.
She tried so hard to get closer to you. Remember all those Sunday dinners she cooked? The birthday parties she planned? The holidays she tried to celebrate with you? But you ignored both her and her feelings for 10 years. Do you know how much that hurt her? How much it hurt me to watch?
If you were so hurt, why didn't you say anything?
I did, so many times, but you always brushed it off or changed the subject or started crying about Dad.
Because I was lonely. I needed you.
And Sarah tried to help with that loneliness, but you pushed her away. That's when I really started hating you. so I'm actually happy we'll be living apart.
How dare you say you hate your own mother after everything I sacrificed for you? After raising you alone?
Stop using that as an excuse. You're not raising me anymore. I'm a grown man with my own family.
I am your family.
Sarah is my family too. The family I chose. The family you've been trying to destroy.
I was protecting you.
From what? From someone who loves me? From someone who supported me for 15 years?
She's taking you away from me.
No, Mom. You're pushing me away. You've been doing it for years. Every time you ignored Sarah, every time you made her feel unwelcome, every time you tried to come between us.
Mike, please, don't do this to me.
You did this to yourself. When you threw away her things, when you tried to force her out, that was the last straw.
I can change. We can start over.
It's too late. 10 years too late.
You can't mean that.
That's honestly how I feel. Goodbye.
Mike!
Don't contact me for a while. I need space.
So Mike approved of all this too.
Yes, thank you for understanding.
So this is really goodbye then. You've taken everything from me.
There's one more thing we need to discuss.
What now? Haven't you taken enough from me?
Among the things you threw away were some expensive clothes and bags, and irreplaceable items, like my mother's necklace.
So, they're gone now. What's done is done.
I'll be sending you a bill for compensation. I've documented everything.
You're joking. You're trying to get even more money from me? After taking my home?
Don't put it that way. You destroyed my property. I'm just getting compensation for my destroyed property. This is my legal right, and you know it.
You can't prove anything.
Actually, I can. Remember the security cameras? If you refuse to pay, I'm prepared to get a lawyer and take this all the way.
You wouldn't dare.
Try me.
So when you attack, you go all out. You're ruthless.
That's not my intention at all. I was hurt when you started ignoring me, but once I lost all respect for you, I stopped caring. If you're going to ignore me, I just won't talk to you either. I was fine just living happily with Mike, and this could have gone on indefinitely. But then you started throwing away my things and trying to force a divorce, so I had to take stronger measures. I hope you can understand, this is just about protecting my life.
You sound so self-righteous. Like you've done nothing wrong.
Just please pay the compensation. Then we never have to speak again.
Fine, whatever. I have my husband's inheritance and my pension. I can afford to pay that much. Living alone might be fun anyway. I don't need either of you.
I see. Thank you for understanding.
Sarah, do you have a minute?
What is it? I thought we agreed not to contact each other.
I know you said to have Mike contact me instead, but he seems to have blocked my number. I've tried everything.
Ah, I see. Well, that's understandable. He was very clear about needing space.
Could you ask Mike to come visit me? I'll send you my address. Please, it's important.
Why? What's so urgent? What happened to enjoying living alone?
I fell on the street recently and my leg has been hurting. I can barely walk.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That must be difficult.
Life is hard on my own, so I'd like him to help take care of me. I need a family right now.
I'll ask Mike, but I doubt he'll agree. He really doesn't like you anymore. That's why he blocked you. He's been much happier without the stress.
Then maybe you could help. Actually, we could all live together again. I've changed.
What is wrong with you? After everything that happened, you want to live together? Have you lost your mind?
I know I was wrong before. I admit it now. Please, living alone for the rest of my life is just too hard. I'm scared.
This is what happens when you try to drive people away. You didn't expect Mike to leave too, did you? You said you understood his feelings better than anyone, but you were completely wrong.
Maybe you're right. I was wrong about everything. So, about living together again, I could help around the house.
Absolutely not. Besides, we don't have time to take care of you. We're dealing with something more important.
Why not? What could be more important than family?
I'm actually pregnant. Finally.
What? After all these years?
It's considered high risk because of my age, but Mike is being very supportive. We're hoping for a healthy baby. So living with you is completely out of the question.
Taking care of a baby alone will be hard. I could help you, so please don't worry. I could be a real grandmother.
If I need help, I'll ask my mom. We don't need you, and honestly, we don't want you.
You can't be serious. I'm the baby's grandmother.
I am completely serious. It would be terrible for a child's emotional development to live with someone who freely ignores people and tries to drive them out. So we can't live with you. Since Mike has blocked you, I'll be blocking you too. For our child's sake.
Wait, please! Don't take my grandchild away from me!
Goodbye. Linda continued living on her own, managing with regular hospital visits. While her leg eventually healed, her advancing age meant she developed various health issues each year, making it difficult to maintain a comfortable lifestyle. With no one to rely on, she paid for home care services to help her get by. The caregivers say she often talks about wanting to live with us again, but that wish will never be granted. Meanwhile, I gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. Mike works harder than ever and absolutely melts around our daughter. After the birth, I quit my job and now spend all my time with our child. Watching our daughter grow up healthy and happy has become my greatest